Namaste, dear friends. I'm so happy that I'm connecting to you again with another beautiful topic. We are doing these series of various episodes on spirituality, meditation, mind, relationships, health, abundance. And all these concepts are about life. Life is bigger than what we think. Life is beautiful than what we think. We complete our education in schools and then we promote to college degrees and then some people go for PhDs. But nowhere in the conventional education system talks about life. No teacher talks about life. But we live the very life that we got through God or universe. We don't have any manual about how to live life. If we purchase anything, any electronic gadget, if you purchase maybe a car, a vehicle, a bike, TV, computer, mobile, anything that you purchase in the market, it comes with a manual. That manual, if you read that manual, you will know how to operate that gadget. It can be anything. It can be any product. There is a small booklet in it, the user manual. Do you have user manual for your life? Are we taking birth with the user manual? How to live, how to be happy, how to be healthy? No manual is given. But that manual is there within, in our soul state. And teachers, our education, our parents will never teach about life. That is why we are seeing so much suffering, so much misery, so many confusions in many people's life. It is because we are not guided, we are not taught about living life fully. So, to live an integral life, we need to follow certain ways. We need to know certain principles, certain guidelines. And today, right now, I'm going to talk about integral life. What is integral life? An integral approach is a way to live a balanced life. A life with inclusion of everything, inclusion of everyone. So when we bring balance in our life by connecting to our being and by doing whatever that we want in our life, so then we live an integral life. Otherwise, we experience imbalances in our life. We see a lot of people go through extremes. If there is a suffering, if there is a pain, they go into extreme suffering. If there is some happiness, joy, they go into extreme. Any extreme will not bring balance. Whether good or bad, right or wrong, happiness or sadness, failure or success, day or night, whether we have friends or not. But if we live this integral life, we bring balance in every moment of our existence. That's what true spirituality means. That's what application of spiritual truths in daily life. Otherwise, all the concepts that we know and all the books that we read, they are like just concepts in the head, concepts in the mind. We constantly feed our mind with these topics, with these knowledge, these concepts, but are we implementing them? Are we integrating that wisdom? Are we executing those ideas? Are we bringing the change? That shows whether we are living an integral life or not. Like if we take a cart, a bullock cart, both wheels should be in balance, equal in size. Suppose the left wheel for the bullock cart is small and the right wheel to the bullock cart is big, journey will not be easy, journey will not be smooth. Both should be equal. Like that, our inner life, our outer life should be balanced. What is called inner life? What is called outer life? We need to know. The inner life is nothing but whatever that is happening within you. Your thoughts, your perceptions, your beliefs, your emotions, your ideas, your plannings, your vision of life, everything comes from within. That is what inner life means. What is outer life? The life that we experience outside, meeting with friends, working in an office, earning money, traveling to different places, doing any activity, cooking. These are all outer life. All the outer life is a projection of inner life. If we fine tune this inner life, then the outer life will be corrected automatically. Generally, what we try to do, we try to correct things from outside. We try to correct people, situations from outside of us. It is like treating with symptoms. We are not treating with the root cause. So whatever that we are seeing outside, we need to change something inside. We need to bring shift inside so that we see changes outside in our life. And now I'm going to talk about 7 principles, or I can say 7 practices, 7 ways to live an integral life. These are very important, my dear friends. So the first and foremost thing is our perception creates our reality. We might have heard about we create our own reality, right? So our reality, whatever that we are creating, whether consciously or unconsciously, it is through our perceptions mainly. Let me give a little detail about this first principle. Whatever the lens of perceptions that we have, that reality we experience. For example, if you wear blue glasses, whatever that you see in blue color. Everything, everyone appears in blue color. If you wear red glasses, and you will see red color everywhere. The truth is not red. The reality is not in red color. Whatever that we are seeing, it is because of the lens of perceptions, because of the colored glasses that we wear. I'll go a little deep into this. So, perception about our physical body creates our health or our illness. If you do not take care of the physical body, if you, when you look into the mirror, if you tell yourself, my face is not good, my nose is not good, I am not in good shape, good color. If we keep telling these negative statements about our body, in our mind, what happens? This body creates illness. Instead, you keep saying like, I am a healthy person, my body is healthy, I have more energy in my body, my body always supports me in all the activities that I do. With these statements, your body start to regenerate, recreate a new kind of energy for you to live life happily. So perceptions about the body. If you look at this body as a limited body, it gives only limited energy to you. But if you look at this body, okay, my body is precious gift. It is a temple and I take care of this body. And when you do these things, your body also will give you back all the great energy, vitality, nourishment, whatever that you want, your body gives you. And perception towards your mind. If you keep thinking, perceiving about your mind as a failure mind or lazy mind, crazy mind, your mind works in that way. Your reality is being created by the perceptions of your mind. So you need to change your perceptions about mind. Instead you say, my mind is powerful. I have infinite potentiality. I can create anything in my life with the power of my mind, power of my intention. Then your reality will shift. And your perception about aging will create aging or life to you. Always if you keep thinking of worrying about, oh, I am getting older and older, then your body will not cooperate and your aging accelerates. But if you have thoughts like, if you have perceptions like, I have ageless body, I have timeless mind, every day in every way I grow younger and live longer. With these thoughts, with these perceptions, you bypass aging, you bypass old age. You live longer with greater energy, greater enthusiasm. And perception about time. What are you perceiving about time? Are you always thinking, worrying that you are running out of time? And that is what going to happen. If you tell yourself, I have all the time in my life to achieve all the great things, to finish all my pending tasks, time will be adjusted for us. You experience timelessness. So this is the first principle, dear friends. And next, second principle is escape from the prison of condition, from the prison of conditioning. All the inputs, all the advices, all the suggestions given to our mind by others, by society, by education system, if everything is helping you to evolve in life, then it's good. But if anyone, they try to hold us back, they try to put us down, that is the main error, main problem. So whatever the conditioning that you have received from your parents, from your elders, from your teachers, if it is stopping you from growing, you need to let it go. Coming out of these patterns, mind limitations, mind patterns, this is the second step, second principle to live a balanced life. Otherwise, what happens? We live very limited life. I want to tell one example from my own life. One belief, one thought process given by my mother when I was a child started creating that reality to me for many, many years. That is, if you go out in the rain, if you drench in the rain, you will caught up with cold. If you drink outside water, you will get cold and cough. My mother used to tell this since childhood. And I used to experience that reality. Whenever I take water from any new place, any new people's house, my relative's house, and I used to get cough and cold for many days, many months. That is not the truth. It is the conditioning given by my mother. It took me many, many years to let go of that belief, let go of that conditioning. And one more belief that my mother has given to me, I took from my mother, is you need to do lot of hard work to get success in life. You need to do more hard work to get good marks in school and college. But I never used to get good marks because I was doing hard work, but I was not getting. Because it's a belief, it's a lie, it's not the truth. It's a programming. But later I started enjoying reading, enjoying learning all the concepts very easily. I developed photographic memory power. Whatever the book that I read, I grasp it within less time. It's because the power of the mind, because I let go of that conditioning many years back. So the second principle says, come out of all the conditionings, all the limitations given by others. And third thing is nurturing yourself. Nurture yourself. How to nurture yourself? Nurturing your body, nurturing your mind, nurturing your heart, nurturing your soul. How do we nurture our body? By giving healthy foods, by giving proper rest and exercise to this physical body. That way we nurture our body, we take care of our body. And nurturing our mind, how do we nurture our mind? By practicing meditation, and by reading, by learning, by listening to all the great masters' teachings, so that our mind is cultivated with positive thoughts, empowering thoughts. And nurturing our heart, how do we nurture our heart? With positive emotions. We nurture our heart by giving positive emotions to it. That means connecting to people, communicating with people with the positive words, and establishing positive connections, and keep meeting all the like-minded people, so that our heart is cherished with all the positive memories, positive experiences, and positive emotions. And nurturing our soul, how do we nurture our soul? By practicing silence, by connecting to the spirit within, and by connecting to the masters. We nurture our soul. And by sitting in nature, we nurture our soul. Reading some spiritual scriptures, it nurtures our soul. So this is the third principle that we need to nurture: our body, our mind, our heart, our soul. And next, fourth principle is eliminating toxins from your life. Toxins are not helpful for us. How we take toxins unconsciously, unknowingly? I'll tell you. Toxic food, the food which is not fresh, the food which is not vegetarian food, that is the toxins that we give to our body. Toxic food. And avoiding toxic food. And toxic emotions. If we are always worried, fearful, gripped with fear, and always grieving, carrying hatred feelings, jealous, negativity, all these emotions are toxic emotions. And another toxicity in our life is toxic relationships. If any of your relationships are not helping you to grow, then it is time for you to Look into that aspect, look into that relationship. Either you transform your connection with that person, or you need to say goodbye to that person. Toxic relationships are very painful. They create pain to our life. It brings imbalance in our life. And another toxicity is toxic workplace, toxic work life. When we go to office, if we have our colleagues as our best friends, we enjoy work life. Imagine you have a boss, you have a manager who is always creating struggles to you, who is always pointing all your mistakes all the time. What happens? It creates toxins in your body, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. So eliminate this toxicity from yourself. So this is another way. And next principle is enhancing mind-body coordination. Enhancing mind-body connection. There is a mind, there is a body. We can see the body, but we can't see the mind. Only we experience the thoughts. The collection of thoughts is nothing but mind. So what happens, what is this principle is saying to us? Establishing the connection between mind and body. What it is saying to us is, we need to bring alignment between mind and body. Body lives in the present moment. Every cell in the body, we have more than 50 trillion cells in the body. Every cell is living in the present moment. But when it comes to mind, our mind is not living in the present. Either our mind is living in the past or living in the future, bringing all the past pains, past worries into the present moment. Our mind tries to always keep reimagining, rethinking about the past events. Oh, I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have achieved that, I could have lived in that particular city. All that could have, would have, all these things from the past. And the same mind, which is turbulent, it lives in the future. What do I do tomorrow? What do I do in the future? What are the things that I am going to experience in the future? So the mind is not living in the moment. Body is living in the moment. So we need to merge these two things. We need to integrate these two things. Body-mind connection. Body, mind are inseparable. How do we bring connection between both two elements, body and mind? The breath does. When you are with your breath, your mind is here and now. Your mind is here and now. Wherever your body goes, your mind goes there. If you connect to your breath through meditation practice. And the next, sixth principle is bringing more and more spontaneity and creativity in your life. Who live spontaneous life? If you observe in your family, in the society, have you ever noticed someone who is living spontaneously, very spontaneously? Kids, children live with spontaneity. They are very playful. They just live in the moment. We need to cultivate this habit of living spontaneously. Just living for the sake of living. not with too much of complications in the mind, and bringing our creativity. How do you express your creativity? If you are a housewife, you think about how can I cook creatively today. If you are a programmer, software programmer, you think about bringing creativity into the work. We need to ask, we need to bring from our soul this creativity so that we bring balance in our life. And the seventh principle is, how can we bring this integral life every day? By following all these six principles, we need to cultivate the seventh principle, living with love. Without love, there is no life. Loving your own self, loving your own body, loving your job, loving your family members, loving new people, loving everyone, bringing love element in your life, that brings balance. When we bring too much of mind into anything, you see lot of imbalance, lot of struggles. But when you bring heart, when you bring love, you bring unity, you bring connection, you bring happiness, you bring harmony. So I want to suggest you to live your life with these all 7 principles so that you experience integral life every day. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you for watching to me. And I'll come again with another video. Right now I am signing off. Take care. Bye bye.